All right. Time now is 11:23 a.m. On January 11th, 111. Um, so yeah, slept from 3:50 to 11:10. It's earlier than 4. Hey, I did something. So, um, yeah, this is such a weird sleep. I think I woke up at least a gazillion times in the middle of the sleep. Um, and yeah, it's just at around 8:30 a.m. I woke up and I sort of freaked out because I thought I overslept. And then I realized, okay, wait, it's only 8 a.m. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of a messy, choppy dream. I think I went back to Hong Kong and I met my brother, and in my dream, it's kind of a lot's going on. So, um, today, classes, but this time it'll be art history. It's funny how art history has managed to take up 3 out of 5 days in my class schedules. Also, I was secretly looking at Ryan's laptop, and I saw his class schedule. Holy shit, it's packed. He's taking like 5 classes, and one of the classes is like 4 days in a row, but it's like 50 minutes per day, which is the most ridiculous thing I've seen. Imagine making a class and you're meeting 4 days in a row. That's so silly. So I feel like my class schedule is relatively like tame, you know. So today and tomorrow will be very tame. Today it's art history, tomorrow's art history again, but the discussion session. Hopefully, I get to make some friends in the art history, class. They're group projects, so I'm excited. Um, yeah, that's all I really need to say. I'm going to eat lunch after I return home, so I need to eat a big breakfast. I wish I had granola bars or something to take with me because I'm going to really like starve. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah. Um, I need to eat a big breakfast, maybe boiled eggs and bacon. I have a little time, just a little bit though. Um, yeah, big breakfast, big breakfast. And yeah, I should be receiving the Paprika Blu-ray tonight, which is going to be a gift for Cliff. Um, and I'm kind of excited. I really wanna. So tomorrow is Cliff's birthday party and Glenn's lunch, which is exciting as shit. Um, and I I don't know. I want to ask Victor and Lewis if I can go to their apartment earlier so that I could test my Blu-rays. I'm a little bit worried that my Fallen Angels and my Memories of Murder Blu-rays are fake. Um, Fallen Angels from Goodwill, which I think might be good, because Goodwill is not known for collecting fakes, but I'm worried about the Memories of Murder. But I also want to just test out all the other Blu-rays. I've had these discs on me for a long time. Um, some of these Blu-rays here I've been keeping for like 3 months. Or I think it's been 2 months. I definitely like need to, test them out and see if they actually are working or not. Um, but yeah, I imagine like giving gifts to Cliff would be nice. I don't know how many people will be giving gifts, but I will be. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I also don't need to wear the nice shoes anymore. I usually wear these ritualistically on the first days of every class, so I come off cool. I don't need to do that anymore. I can just wear regular shoes. Um, Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's gotta be it. It's lunchtime. 4:25 p.m. Alright, hey guys, what's up? It's nearly 9 p.m. right now. It's 8:45. I'm hungry as fuck. It's dinner time, and I'm going to, for the first time in my life, try to braise pork belly. I've never cooked pork belly before, other than sliced pork belly slices, which I would just fry in a pan with oil. But this time I'm trying to cook something more complicated. I'm trying to cook something that tastes like home and not whatever garbage I'm cooking up in the microwave. So this is gonna be fun. What the f... Alright, so I'm gonna just fry them for a very fast period of time, very short period of time. And then after a quick fry, let's do high heat. After a quick fry, I'm going to start adding soy sauce and sugar and garlic. But yeah, let's just give it a quick fry. Thank God this pot is big enough. Okay. Okay. Come on, boil. The ginger and the garlic is going to make it taste so good. And the soy sauce and the vinegar will condense, hopefully. And also the sugar. It's going to condense and it's going to turn into a thick sauce. Alright, time now is 9:45. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I haven't had dinner yet. Haven't. Yes. So today, just like yesterday, I was late again. Not super late, but I was late enough to miss my bus to school. I know I was gonna miss it, so I just let it go. So I was gonna take the 11:50 bus, but it's kind of silly. If I take the 11:50, I'll arrive at like 12 at noon, and then I have half an hour with nothing to do. So I decided to screw it. I'll just miss that bus. So I walked to school instead. So for the first time in the last 4 days, I walked to school. And yeah, holy shit, it is a long distance. It's funny because like from my apartment to the USC campus is like, took me like 20 minutes. But then you'd think when you arrive at USC campus, you'd think, okay, the classroom's gotta be near, but no, it'll take me another 10 minutes to arrive at my classroom because the campus is just that huge. I arrived and everyone's already sitting inside. I was a little confused. I was only late for 1 minute, so the class starts at 12:30 and I was there at 12:31, and I'm kind of confused. I don't know why. Am I like wrong the whole time? You know what? I'm gonna check right now and see. I'm gonna see if it's actually a 12:30 class or was it 12:20 and I was trolled and tricked the whole time. No, it's 12:30. I don't know, but anyways, I arrived and I just sat down and it was a quick class. The professor, now I can pretty much confirm she's a Hong Konger, because the TA's last name was also Lee. Um, the professor's last name is also Lee. Oh my god, my roommates are just. Thank God I already cooked or cooking. But the professor was like, "Oh, her culture and my culture is different. So the TA is definitely Korean. So the professor is definitely a Hong Konger. I've hit gold. I've hit a jackpot." But yeah, I didn't really speak up much until there's one moment where the professor was like, "Oh, the people from that corner, do you have any thoughts on this image?" And it was a photo of this ancient civilization in the Indus Valley, and I was like, "Oh, there are walls and stuff." But yeah, that's pretty much it. Class ended, I left. Next stop, the Engaman Student Health Center for the immunization fest or whatever. So I walked all the way over there and I had no idea what to do because I had a portal website where I have to submit and fill in some forms and, to prove that I've taken vaccines. So there are 3 vaccines and 1 test. MMR, which stands for measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, meningitis, tuberculosis scan. So these 3 are the vaccines. This one is a blood test. So I've done the first 2, and I have proof. But I don't have meningitis. The vaccine. I don't have meningitis, I'm pretty sure. And I don't have the vaccine as well. So I arrived and I was kind of confused, and at the entrance there's a black girl or Latina. Shoot. I'm sorry. And he's like, "Oh, just don't worry, you haven't uploaded anything, don't worry, just sign the consent form on the website and then just go in and you'll see some people there and they'll help you out." So I was like, fine. So I went in and it really is like a center. It's like a room and there are maybe 5 or 6 people behind a long table, and then the rest of the room is several tables with several chairs where you can sit down, stick your arm out, and there's a nurse ready to give you an injection. There's a nurse at every table. And I was a little shocked. I thought that I'm gonna go there, ask some questions and leave, and then come back tomorrow to take the injections because I haven't uploaded anything. And I thought I have to upload something and submit it first before they confirm what vaccines and what scans I need. But no, they didn't need to do that. I showed a doctor or like someone in the long table a photo of the records that I have chickenpox vaccine and I've MMR, and they give me 2 wristbands, one yellow, one red. Red for blood test, yellow for vaccine. And they're like, "Okay, just sit there." So there are 3 kinds of tables. One kind of table is there's a plastic slide, but it's not really a slide. It's more like a plastic stand for you to place your arm on. And then the other rows of table is just plain and simple table, chair. So obviously the first row of tables is for the blood tests. So I went there and immediately there's a nurse and she's like, "Oh, which arm do you want to do it?" And at that point I was like, "Oh my god, so we're doing it like now, like immediately." So I'm like, "Fine." So I'm like, I don't know, the left hand because it's not dominant. And she's like, "Oh sure." She's really nice. And I'm not that afraid of needles, but it's been a while since I've had an injection. Last time I had an injection, it was the COVID COVID injection, and that's back in January or February 2022, so it's been a while. And I don't like big needles, especially the needle they used for the blood test is very thick, thicker than the vaccine needle. So I just looked at the needle and I'm like, oh, I'm like, oh, okay. And so she poked it, so it's like, it's right here. There's a red dot. It's that. It's very, yeah, I say thick, but it's still very thin, so it's not like blood is gushing out or anything. But it was a poke, and then she filled 2 test tubes worth of my blood. Hot, steamy, thick, deep red, straight from the arterial or something. And I just looked at blood filling up a test tube, and the nurse was like, you're okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just a little scared. And she's like, oh, the hard part is over. And I'm like, okay. So after that, she gave me like a cotton and wrapped it up and just told me to wait at the side. So there are some chairs at the side. Waited there. There's so many Asians here, so many Asian students and some Indian students. And by Asians, I think most of them are Chinese. They're everywhere now. So I waited a while, and by a while I mean like a couple minutes. And now I go onto the second row of the tables, where I had to take the meningitis shot. And the nurse was like, oh, do you want the flu shot? And I'm like, is it necessary? And she's like, no. And I'm like, fine, meningitis. So I took the meningitis shot. And it's a little complicated because she wants to take it at my shoulder. And I was wearing this very thick black shirt that is very thick and not easy to remove. So I was going to roll up my sleeves because I want to do it in my non-dominant hand so that when it gets sore, I can still move my right hand. And I can't roll up the sleeves because it's too thick. So she's like, oh, you may need to, take off your shirt or something. And I'm like, okay. So I started taking it off. And it's fine because I have an undershirt. And I'm used to taking off shirts beginning from the right hand. So I started taking off from the right hand, right? Like this. And my right shoulder is exposed. And then she's like, well, since you have your right shoulder out, might as well do it at the right shoulder. And I'm like, okay. So she did it. So she did it on my right shoulder. And this was an instant. I didn't even know when she poked my skin. I didn't even know. And then she pulled it out and I'm like, oh, it's done. Very fast. It happened instantly. So that's great. So I should have it cleared by now. Yeah. Yeah. So my roommate's outside cooking. I'm broiling my pork belly right now. Okay. So I got the two holes in my on my arms done. So I walked to Ralph's and I bought a bunch of stuff. So expensive, $60 worth of stuff. It's just rice and some tissue boxes. And I realize I'm overbuying stuff. Like in the last couple of weeks, I've been buying so much food. But now I don't even need to worry about running out of food. And it's great. At some point in round 3, I never worried about running out of food because I keep buying them. So I was never like anxious, like, oh no, I've run out of meat, I've run out of vegetables. Which happens a lot in rounds 1 and 2. Right now I'm immediately at that stage, which is great, I don't feel insecure in terms of starvation, but yeah, it's a lot of money gone, but hopefully it's a good investment. Anyways, I took a bus back home, walked for 15 minutes, arrived home, yay. Settled down, took a shower, had lunch. I also had 2 boiled eggs and bacon this morning, which is rare. Usually I eat sweet things in the morning, but, I thought I had time, but I was alright. I'm happy that I can go to the immunization fest without following the last name thing. Like yesterday, I was supposed to go yesterday, not today, but who cares, you know? Okay. Went back home. Did nothing. I just want to chill because my school week is done. Originally, tomorrow I have a discussion session for art history class, but the professor today was like, oh, tomorrow no discussion. You're free to go. So this means it's done for me. The week is finished and I can chill tomorrow. Aside from the fact that I have to have lunch with Glenn and a birthday dinner with Cliff. But aside from that, pretty chill, which is fucking fantastic. I'm happy about that. And I'm glad I don't have to go tomorrow to do injections because I've done all of that today already. So yeah, dinner time. I'm broiling pork belly for the first time, which is a little bit scary, but I think it's kind of like brewing soup, except there's meat, a lot of meat in the middle, and it's sauce and not really soup. In the middle of doing it, before I even started broiling, the Chinese guy at room 1 came out and was like, oh, do you know where I can place these plates? And I'm like, I opened the cabinets and I'm like, oh yeah, these, which is weird. Can't you do it before I come out or after I finish cooking, like in the middle of this? So I was chopping ginger. I was peeling ginger. Or no, I was chopping garlic. And my phone was recording, and then he just comes out of nowhere to stop me in the middle. And so I left the knife and the cutting board in the middle of the kitchen. And you know, he's wearing outside shoes. Come on, dude, you're Chinese. Don't wear shoes indoors, please. Be like me. But yeah, there's a knife, and I was scared that the knife will drop, and the knife did drop. Holy shit. So his body pushed forward, and it pushed the knife, and the knife, big blade, dropped on the floor. And I was like, be careful, be careful. And she was like, and then thank God the knife didn't cut anyone. Thank God I backed up. I'm like, oh, what if the knife flew into my forehead? That didn't happen. So everyone's safe. I continue broiling it, and now my broiling meat is outside. I want to go outside and check, but Jesus and his girlfriend is out and about doing stuff outside again, so can't really do much. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow dinner will be very expensive again, but at least I got to hang out. Also, I got to go to their apartment first to test out Blu-rays and shit. Also, Paprika Blu-ray has arrived. It's outside right now. I'm gonna go get it after I change my clothes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thomas called me for like 40 something minutes and was like, hey, are you free? Because Thomas was like thinking about changing his major to history, which I respect. And the more I talk to him, the more I realize maybe I should stay in film studies too. Because truly studying religion is fucking cool. And also, I'm not gonna miss out on that much. Sure, I can do a lot of production shit by being in film production, but I can still crew on other people's shorts. I can still get into indirectly help out with 310 and indirectly help out with 480. I won't miss out that much, actually. So yeah, I just need to waiver a couple classes so that my units go down. You know, I'm taking too much, and each unit is like $2,300. Fuck that, you know. But yeah, I'll make the final decision after I email the academic advisor, because I want to know if I have to, like, if I reapply to film production, I want to know if they will force me to be in film production. If it's a yes, I want to think about it, you know, but I just realized film studies is probably more fun. The classes themselves are not that fun, but it is the fact that I have free time to do other stuff, and the other stuff is fun. So yeah, that's it. But yeah, excited to see Glenn tomorrow. First Hong Konger I'll be meeting in USC, and it's Glenn. I mean, technically it's John L, right? There's Franklin, and then there's Glenn, and it's 3 fucking people. Yeah. There's Jeremy, but I think he graduated. The makeup artist. Alright, I'm giving this to Cliff. It's actually not that expensive. It's like $15. But I paid 0 because my aunt gave me a gift card. Which is hilarious, but yeah. Okay. Alright, so obviously the braising is not long enough. I'm still cooking over there. But yeah, I'm still, fuck it, it's like 11 p.m. I'm hungry as fuck. Let's try the braised pork belly. Cheers. So tender, so juicy. Love the flavor. So nostalgic. It's not exactly, like taste-wise, it's not exactly how it tasted like at home, but close enough. Okay, there we go. It's beginning to glaze. This is what I'm trying to look for. This is what I'm trying to go for. I can split this up. That's 2 dinners. That's 2 dinners. Alright, time now is 11:28 a.m. in the morning on January 12th. Yeah, it's Cliff's birthday. Shout out to Cliff. So, yeah, I slept from 3:30 to 11:10. But again, I woke up before the alarm even rang. But yeah, that's 7.5 hours. It's not bad. Also, I've slept even earlier today, so that's really cool. My right arm right now is actually kind of sore. It's getting worse. My right arm, my shoulder, it's fucking getting really sore. And on top of that, I think I have low fever right now. I just feel kind of tired and a little dizzy, and my fingers are cold. Holy shit. My body just has a very strong reaction to anything, so I don't know. It kind of sucks that maybe the fever will get worse. Hopefully it gets better by the time I reach Cliff's dinner, because I wouldn't want to enjoy dinner with fever while having fever. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna see Glenn for lunch as well, which is gonna be exciting. I was gonna watch Godzilla last night plus 4 episodes of anime, but I ended up watching 1 episode of anime and 15 minutes of Godzilla, and then I almost fell asleep. Instead, I had a 2-hour Discord call with Michelle. It just went on and on and on. I low-key wish it was shorter, but it's been a while since I've called her. She was mad that Betsy's mom doesn't like her. So, a couple years ago, back in the WoW era, and that is the second half of 2022, Michelle told Betsy that she could stay at her house for a little bit, you know. And then Michelle suddenly got COVID, and Betsy's mom said Michelle faked her COVID, which is really weird. And Betsy's also like very ambitious. She says she wants to beat Steven Soderbergh at being the youngest person to win a Palme d'Or, and she says she wants to beat Damien Chazelle for winning Best Director. But like, bro, she's too ambitious. I don't think she's gonna do it. She's already 27, so she's already lost to Steven Soderbergh. You know, yeah, but who knows? But yeah, I'm very excited for today. I'm very fucking, like, I think I do have fever. My hair is like smooth circle. Every morning I wake up, my hair is a little different. But yeah, I'm gonna go to have lunch with Glenn after I finish the Godzilla movie. And then I will, go to, friggin' fucking, Santa Monica. And I have some time in the middle to just hang out and do nothing. So, I don't know, maybe I and Glenn could hang out even more, I don't know. And then, I'll head to Lewis and Cliff's place, and in there, hopefully, I can test out some Blu-rays. I also got the Paprika Blu-ray, which is a gift for Cliff. So, yeah. And yeah, I'm excited to test out these Blu-rays because it's been kind of suspenseful to see whether these Blu-rays work or not. Yeah, I just shit, I do think I have fever. I do think I have low fever right now. It's not high, it's low. But yeah, it'll be a nice day. And then maybe I and the bunch, Cliff's friend group, will get drunk and high together at the beach. That's something that might be possibly happening. And if today's the first day in my life I ever get high, so be it. I think it's a good occasion. I know I said I want to be high with someone I love for the first time, but I think that's just too ambitious. That's like saying, oh, I want to win, I suddenly forgot the name of this game. I remember the Cantonese name, but like, you know, I want to, gamble and win $1 million while, having no, it's too ambitious. I'm sorry. I don't know. And speaking of romantic relationships, I'm really fucking happy that in the last couple of months or so, I did not talk about romantic relationships at all. Like, I think after my low point in November, I think since then I really tried to look away from romantic relationships. And I think it's really helped my mental health to not think about love. And lately it sort of reminded me again, you know, part of the reason why I fell in love with Leslie was because she's, she's culturally the closest to Hong Kong. Like, you know, I don't know a single Hong Kong girl or Taiwanese girl in that place, so the closest to me culturally is Leslie. Second of all, I look up to her because she's like a constant in a chaos, you know. I'm not the only Hong Konger in the entire film program, and you know, everything's a mess, anything can happen, and she's sort of always there. And she always has her shit together, even though she doesn't actually. So these two elements are unique because in USC it's full of Chinese people. And also right now I feel like I have my life together way more than I had before. So I wonder how the hell am I going to fall in love again? I think the next time I fall in love with someone is going to be a lot more different. Yeah, fuck, okay. I'm gonna watch a film now, yeah. But, yeah, no rush. I don't think there's an, incentive for me to, like, rush a romance anymore, because it doesn't even matter anymore. To me.
Mandy? Was that her?
Then it's fine.
Restaurant 雖然佢好貴，但係佢係即係 watch that Gyro and Johnny fight in the cabin?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm only in Los Angeles. I don't really know. At least I could visit Trader Joe's Santa Monica. The one Carrasco goes to.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what you mean?
Go through Death Trip concert and you can count on one hand how many people.
In front of the camera and use it like the Synchronic white balance reader.
The Oreos are in there.
Ah, alright. Who's gonna split this with me? Oh, also it matches your
Alright, time now is 12:31 afternoon on January 13th. Okay, yeah. I didn't do one of these last night because I came home super late last night and at 4 a.m. and then I went to bed at 5 a.m. I just didn't have time to do this. I'm tired as fuck. So I'm gonna talk about everything that happened to me yesterday, today, this morning, right now. Yeah, but I think long story short, yesterday was fucking amazing. Yesterday was truly an event, an unforeseeable event that really, I don't know, proved my place in the old world, and the old world as in Santa Monica. But yeah, anyways, yesterday I can split into two halves. The first half is lunch with Glenn. The second half is Cliff's birthday dinner. So, yeah, so, I was a little late. But yeah, I caught a bus to the USC Village, and then that's where I saw Glenn. And he's looking sharp. He's looking sharp and young and you know, he's a little bit different from last time I saw him. I think he's like buffer and stuff, but yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, hey, yo, and then he's like, yo. So there he is sitting inside Dulce, which is a cafe, but he told me the food inside sucks. And then we started walking and talking, and he already ate something because he went to the gym yesterday morning, so I was the only one who ordered some food and ate. So there's this place that's sort of similar to Chipotle, but it is Middle Eastern food, and the name of the restaurant is Kava. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I got myself a bowl with some rice and some braised lamb and so a couple of hummus dips and yeah, and some vegetables. And this thing cost $20.7, so that's kind of fucked up. But yeah, we sat down somewhere under an umbrella on a table and we started talking. And it's kind of funny how Glenn would walk around and he would keep running into people he knows, and those people would be like, hi, how are you? Oh my god. And Glenn's like, okay, catch up later, you know. So he's kind of popular. At least in my standards. So this is kind of crazy because he's the first Hong Konger I've met in USC, even though I've already known him before USC, before entering USC. So that just goes to show how rare it is to find Hong Konger. And he's like, yeah. So throughout the entire conversation, it was pessimistic, but it's expected. Like, it's pessimistic to be expected. So Glenn talked a lot about, you know, scholarships and finding jobs on campus and clubs and frats and the classes and different majors and some other stuff like housing and the food around here, the prices. This is a better orientation than anything else because Glenn has an unbiased, honest opinion on things. So, first of all, as international students, we're basically fucked. Finding on-campus jobs is almost impossible. In the last 3 semesters, Glenn has tried to help out in the library and help out in the bookstore and help out in this, help out in that, and it never fucking worked out. He was never contacted. Connect SC, according to him, is garbage. Nobody contacts you. However, he has a couple of friends who are international students and who have jobs miraculously. So it's not completely impossible, but yeah, it really is difficult. Scholarships are even more difficult. There are barely any scholarships for international students. There's a senator in Hong Kong called Fan Kuo-wai, and his daughter goes to USC, and Glenn knows her. And both of them tried to acquire a scholarship from HKPN, which is a Hong Kong private network. I thought it's just an organization, but no, they're more than that. They also give out scholarships. So they asked HKPN if they can get a scholarship, and it's just like a $3,500 scholarship, or just $3,000, which is just tiny, you know. It's like 10% of a semester's worth of money. But even so, HKPN kept turning them down. So that really fucking sucked. Again, living around here is very pricey. The food is very pricey. And we talked about majors. I told him my thought process on whether I should stay in CAMS or transfer to film production. He doesn't really know, because right now he's actually majoring in political science and then double minoring in acting, like theater, and then entertainment industry, which is like kind of related to business. And it's one of the bajillion minors of SCA that SCA provides. And I told him about CTPR 426, and he was like, oh my god, I've never heard of this class before. He might want to join, so maybe we can coordinate this out and end up in the same class, who knows. But there are like little to no Hong Kongers here. They're extremely rare, but you know, if we look hard enough, we'll be able to find some. Glenn told me that he expected my cohort to have more Hong Kongers, but I highly doubt it. And he also said, yeah, joining clubs is gonna cost. And $20-something per semester is already cheap. But trying to be in the leadership of these clubs is basically impossible. Again, like, a lot of them don't get back to you, a lot of them immediately reject you, but you can at least try. So I can try to join the, APCA, which is the Film Club for Asians, and the Hong Kong Student Association. I can try. I can be a member, but I don't know how much will that help me, because a lot of people join, become a member, have nothing to do, and they just fucking leave. The real perk of going to these clubs is to become leadership. And these leadership people, which means they form a little group and they just hang out, and it's just this core group. And everyone outside of this core group sort of like dissipate. And then there are frats. He actually joined a frat, and it's very fucking expensive. It's like $600 something to $2,000 per semester, which is fucking insane. $2,000 is how much I had to pay for one class at the last community college. A frat is gonna cost me $2,000. That's fucking insane, actually. But if you want to look for like Netflix shows, Euphoria type college life, it's the frats. And there are a bazillion frats around USC. They're like mafias. So after knowing how expensive it is, I don't think I will join, but I'll try to rush them, and I want to get a taste of that euphoria-ness, even though it's not for me. Another thing is frats, they really, really test you. If they detect any amount of incel vibe from you, they just kick you out. You have to be a very, you have to be a womanizer, you have to be super charming, has a lot of riz, and, I'm not. I'm a nerd, I'm skinny, and I overthink, and a couple of short films I've made are pretty, incel vibes. So I'm pretty much already screwed, but I can still try. But yeah. I do want to, at least dabble a little bit into frat life, though. Maybe make some friends who are in those frats and just join some, But frats are, the most unhinged part of USC, where things just go crazy. But yeah, I feel like frats are one of those things. Same with Rachel and Ashley. I can't really handle Rachel and Ashley until I've had a girlfriend and lost my virginity. I feel like I can't really handle them right now. And it's okay, but I will eventually face them, but not now. I'm not equipped yet. Rachel and Ashley probably doesn't even know. I've never dated anyone before. Because I don't act like one. Because I'm just that, I just have that level of maturity, despite not really being that mature. But yeah, I can't really face this overwhelming testosterone of a frat house before having a girlfriend. If I bet they're gonna test you in terms of relationship history, if you have 14,000 girlfriends before, then okay, you're one of those guys. Let's join us, Unfortunately, I'm not like that. Anyways, so that's the negatives, but the positives is that USC is a really fucking good film school. UCLA, maybe it's just the Trojan bias or whatever, but UCLA Film School is on the decline. They're underfunded, and they don't touch their cameras until year 3, and UCLA is a mess or whatever, so USC is the film school to go to if you want the connections. Apparently, Glenn's dream school is NYU as well. Mine is not. But I did think about going to NYU because in terms of film style, I think NYU is the closest to my style. But it's LA, so obviously USC would be the better choice. And also, yeah, just USC is definitely better than LMU or Chapman, and better than UCLA. It is the film school to go. So if I stay here for 2.5 years, I'm gonna make tons of connections. It's crazy. Another thing is, yeah, I talked to him a little bit about Barry. I asked him, oh, you know Barry, right? And he's like, yeah. And then he asked me, how's Pepper? And I said, oh, Pepper's in LMU right now. And he's like, oh, shit, okay. But yeah, you know, this semester I'm gonna try my best to find scholarships, join clubs, and maybe rush a couple frats. Rush a frat. I'll rush, and I'll never join, but I'll rush it. And I don't really know what that means, but who knows, man? This is the adventure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And Glenn was like, oh, you know, next week after my 2 Hong Konger friends come back from wherever they are, maybe in Hong Kong, we can all hang out. And I'm like, yeah, sure. We can like have hot pot together and play mahjong. And he's like, yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see more Hong Kongers from USC. But yeah, aside from Franklin, John L., who I think already graduated anyways, or is about to graduate, aside from Franklin, John L., and Rachel, and Glenn, I don't know a single other person. So this is wild. So at around 3-something p.m., Glenn left and went to Social Security place to get a Social Security number or shit like that. I don't know. And then I had to leave. So I DM'd Lewis and I said, hey, can I like come by your house like right now? And arrive at around 4:30 so that I can come and test the Blu-rays. And Lewis was like, sure. So I took a metro, went all the way to Santa Monica, and here we fucking go. I passed my CMD again. I looked at the building, and then low-key was thinking, oh, what if Cuchillo shows up? What if Leslie shows up? Oh my god. No, there's no one there, but I passed by it, and then I arrived at Lewis and Cliff's residence. I'm really hungry right now. Yeah, it's nice. I opened the main gate door, went in, and boom, Lewis is there. Cliff isn't even here. Apparently, Cliff spent most of the morning and afternoon at CMD editing ends and means. And Cuchillo even took a photo, or more like Cuchillo made Leslie take a photo of him and posted it on Instagram. But yeah, he's being exploited, poor soul. So for the most part, it's just me and Lewis sitting on the couch, and it's a little awkward at first because I and Lewis were not even that close. It's like the second time I've ever had a conversation with him, but he's really chill. He's playing Mortal Kombat, and he asked me stuff about USC, and I showed him my Blu-rays, and he's like, oh my god, Fallen Angels. So here's the catch. Here's the thing. I can't test the Blu-rays because his PS4 or PS5 is a digital PS5 and not the one where you can insert a disc. It doesn't have a disc player. Fuck. So I didn't even know there's a version of PS5 where you don't need to insert a disc. So I'm kind of screwed. And Cliff came back at some point and decided to take a nap. But he's like, oh, you can just find a Blu-ray player for $15 on Amazon or eBay. Yeah, no, they're not that cheap. A 4K Blu-ray player is at least $200, $300. And also, I don't want to buy a cheap, shitty, used one. Because in the future, eventually, I'll have a legit, real one. And I would just buy a good one right now. But I don't want to spend, like, over $300 right now buying a good 4K Blu-ray player. So, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to see if I run into a friend who has a working PS5, who has insert disc players, or maybe a spot in USC where you could do that. and test it out then. But yeah, unfortunately, I still can't test it. I have 2 discs I need to test. One is Memories of Murder, the other is Fallen Angels. Memories of Murder, apparently it's unreturnable, so I'm kind of screwed. If it doesn't work, then I have to keep it. Fallen Angels is returnable by early February, so I still have some time. Okay, next up, more and more people came in. Victor and, Destin. Destin shook my hand and was like, "Oh, nice to meet you, I'm Destin." And I don't know if he's trolling or if he legit forgot about me, but it took him a couple seconds and he's like, "Oh, Enoch, bro, we've met." And then Takumi came, Lauren came, and we played around with cameras a little bit because Victor brought a camera from his work, and it's like an A7S. I feel like an elite now. I have an A7 III, which is probably better than an A7S, or Lewis's A7 II. And they put Cliff's Rokinon 8mm fisheye lens onto the A7S with an adapter. Very interesting results, but yeah, and then we called an Uber and we went to Benihana, which is a teppanyaki place. In Santa Monica, we even struggled. We didn't know if we wanted to go to Cheesecake Factory again or not, but it's already too late to book a reservation, and also Cheesecake Factory only allows a maximum of 6 people and not fucking 13, which is how many people we have. So, yeah, so we went to Benihana and we waited. At some point I saw Justin walk past the restaurant and I'm like, "That's Justin." And I'm like, I'm 90% sure. And then we waited a while and Justin never showed up, and Victor jokingly said, "Yeah, I know, like, you know, I'm not, like, whoa, you know, not all Asians look alike," but turns out I was right. It is actually Justin. Like, when Justin actually showed up, that's the attire he was in. He looks sharp. He looks like a K-pop idol. I want to look like him. Everyone styled their hair. So Lewis shaved his head and bleached his hair, so he looks like a rapper now. He looks like Eminem. Eminem in the Slim Shady LP era, or Marshall Mathers LP era. And then Takumi, this is like the second time I've seen him in a long time, so I don't really know how his hair usually looks like, but he permed it and now it's curly. Justin's hair is always nice, and then like Nick the Mexican guy, his hair is a little different as well. And my hair looks like shit, you know, even though I styled it, I tried very hard to style it, I had down perm and everything, but it still looks like this, like a bowl, like a helmet. And I feel like, A, it's probably not long enough for me to style it in any way. B, I just didn't have the time. Like, if I have like a hair gel and everything and I have like 30 minutes, I would probably style it a little bit better. But I'm legit thinking of styling it. And I didn't dress up fancy for yesterday. Like, I just dressed up in a Death Grips hoodie and that's it, you know. Partially because I know we're going to the beach and it's going to be messy. It's going to be full of sand, so why dress up in anything nice? But yeah, we had the meal and everyone started showing up. Elin, so Lauren came with Elin. Lauren picked Elin up from UCLA because Elin had a shoot. And also Cliff also had a shoot tomorrow. It's crazy how they all like have shoots. Ariel immediately showed up. Also everyone hugged each other. Like Ariel hugged me, and then like Elin hugged me. Like we all hugged each other. And I've never hugged this many people at once before. And I'm comfortable with it either. Cause like Ariel, even like until before what happened, shoot, the last time I went, a Christmas party, before that I was still a little bit like distant from Ariel because Ariel is like a Cuchillo fan. She's a little sketchy, you know, she fucked Benny. Okay, gotta stay away from her. But I feel like last night I bonded with Ariel so much more because we started like getting into personal shit, and I like talking about personal shit, so it's intriguing, I guess. Also, apparently they invited Leslie, and Leslie was gonna bring Amaris, her Korean roommate, but because Kiara was there, so Leslie decided not to go because Leslie has beef with Kiara again for the umpteenth time, which is hilarious. But honestly, I probably wouldn't be able to relax if Leslie was there. So I'm low-key glad Leslie wasn't there. I wouldn't be prepared for that shit. If I see Leslie again, I want to have nice, insanely good hair, insanely good, like, worked out body, and I want to look and dress up really nice, like, kind of emo, and has, like, nail polishing and shit like that. Now is not the time to see Leslie. Now is not. Next time I see her, I want to scare her. Okay? Yeah, everyone eventually showed up. Takumi showed up, and, you know, that stuff. The people. And then we waited like a whole fucking hour just for seats. An hour and a half. And in the meantime, Justin and a bunch of people like Victor and Destin, they all walked off and they walked to the Cheesecake Factory to buy a cheesecake for Cliff. And then Takumi, he's a real shy guy. Turns out he's 22. He's like a year older than me, but he always feel like younger than me because he's like a cohort, like 2 cohorts lower than me. But also, it's like he's just a shy guy. He's like me. I'm shy too. And then he's like, "Yo, Enoch, do you want to go to Trader Joe's to buy something for Cliff?" And I'm like, "Sure." But he already bought something for Cliff. He bought Cliff a couple wines. I gave Cliff the Paprika Blu-ray. A lot of people gave Cliff gifts, which is crazy, and I'm so glad I got one. Otherwise, I'd feel guilty. But yeah, Cliff really liked my gift. Cliff was like, "Oh, I've been meaning to watch this." And I'm like, yeah, now that you don't have a Blu-ray player, I don't know how will you be able to watch this, but it's a beautiful cover, at least. Like, you can put it on a shelf in your room. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I and Takumi went and walked to Trader Joe's. I didn't even know Santa Monica has a Trader Joe's, but apparently there is one. And, fuck, I'm hungry. What breakfast should I eat? I don't really know. Yeah. You know, but yeah, we walked to Trader Joe's and it's just me and Takumi. And we didn't buy anything. Takumi wanted to buy flowers, and I'm like, wouldn't that be kind of awkward? And he's like, yeah. And so we went around, we just walked back. It's kind of funny. And then as we walked back, they already got seats. So we sat down and we had the meal. I sat beside Lewis and Victor and Destin, which I don't prefer. Opposite side of me, it's Lauren, Cliff, Ariel, Elin, and Takumi. And then on the other table, it's Justin and Nick. They're just on an isolated island. It's a little awkward for me because, again, I'm closer to Cliff, Ariel, Elin. But I feel like sitting beside Victor and Destin and Lewis is something else as well, because we keep joking around. We keep talking about, like, hot girls, and we started listing out names of white rappers, and, like, for joking, I don't even know what the fuck happened. I ordered a beer for Victor as well, because Victor's not 21 yet. So I ordered 2 Asahi beers. I drank 1. I didn't even fucking finish it. And I had teriyaki steak. It's okay, the meal. It's not, like, exceptionally great. The vegetable parts is meh, but, the Benihana chef does crazy shit. Like, he did a magic trick with eggs, and, like, I was joking around, bro is a stand user, you know? And then that's pretty much it, and, oh yeah, I had a slight fever, so I asked Lewis for some Advil, and of course he does. Turns out it's Cliff's Advil, but yeah. That was before, in the apartment. But anyways, again, the dinner, it was nice. I took a lot of photos and videos. Everyone had fun. But the food was in, and it's like $60. Okay, so this just beat the record. Before this, it's Korean barbecue last week. Not even a week has gone by the way. Not even a fucking week has gone by. And, because last Sunday or last Saturday, we had I and Retablo had Korean barbecue together. It's fucking insane. So, yeah, I'm just like throwing money into the ocean. But yeah, so alas, me, Ariel, Kiara, Elin took an Uber to Cliff's place, and we were the first ones to arrive. And Ariel climbed in through the balcony and opened the door for us, which is kind of scary, because like home invasions are just that easy. I was gonna open the main gate with the code, but Ariel was faster. She's just built like that. So we went in, and it's just the four of us, and it's just girls talk. And I'm such a girl that I just joined in, and they started talking about like religion and consciousness, and like Ariel asked me, what do I think will happen after death? And I try my best to not give these things a thought, but I just, I thought about, how after death we'll just be an inanimate object, like we're just a corpse. But I do hope that we get reincarnated. And then, like, Ariel just goes on and on and on, and it's very interesting, like, how we suddenly start talking about, like, death and consciousness and stuff like that. And Elin was listening, like, Elin's into it, and Ariel's just talking, and it's kind of funny. And then Ariel revealed that she's a poet, and I'm like, oh wow, I write poems too. And Ariel's like, oh, you gotta show me. So I actually picked 2 poems to show her. It's a little weird. I never show people my poems, or I seldom do it. And it's like a very deep side of me that I don't show people, because people get freaked out. And Elin read it, and I don't know how she thinks of it, but it's kind of weird. And it's like, these poems, I write very depressing poems, so it's very unlike me. Even earlier, Lewis was like, wow, you don't really come off like the kind of person who would listen to Death Grips. But that's the kind of person I am, I'm actually kind of fucking crazy. I said that to Elin, and Ariel's like, I mean, aren't we all crazy? But yeah, I told them how I view my life as a TV show, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel, but I feel like we're film students, so we're pretty much insane. Like, we're either alcohol addicted, or nicotine addicted, or we're just schizophrenic, like me. Like, we're all just kind of crazy, and it's okay, But yeah, very soon everyone arrived, and we cracked open the cheesecake. It's insanely sweet and fat and thick. One slice is 1,600 calories. Holy shit. Like, that's even more than the dinner we just had. So I didn't finish it. I think I ate half a piece, and then that's it. We had this mango alcohol, and then Kiara had a weed pen. And Takumi took a hit, I took a hit, I think Elin took a hit, everyone took a hit. Later in the day, Justin or whoever, like, actually took out an actual blunt. And they started smoking it. And then they took out another one, and then me and Cliff and everyone also, like, took a hit. I took one hit. This is my first time actually smoking weed. Instead of edible, this is actually the first time I smoked a blunt. And it's not that bad, but it's way more intense than I thought it would be. Just one tiny hit. I didn't even inhale that much. And it, for some reason, tastes like peanut butter. And I almost choked, but it's like fine. But yeah, And then Lauren was just smoking a lot. I didn't know Lauren is a weed smoker. But yeah, and so the entire, like, it's, even though this isn't like crazy euphoria hypersexual party, but this is already like a bunch of friends from multiple cultures smoking weed, drinking, and going around swearing and talking about weird shit. It's already really like far ahead of how my life was before, So it's already kind of crazy if you think about it. So that's really nice, and I feel comfortable for some reason, like, even though I'm with, like, 13 strangers, not strangers, but, like, just a bunch of people that I thought I would never be close to, and suddenly among them, and it's kind of crazy how comfortable I just get. And I was laying on the couch and I was just talking about everything. So Victor started binge playing music videos, and everyone got to choose to play a music video. So I picked two. I picked Black Midi's Sugar 2 and then a Mio Honda Step, and it's kind of like a prank. I do love Mio Honda Step, but I know it's like, oh my god, you're like girly Japanese lollies or something. So the Black Midi video impressed everyone. Kiara really loved it, and it's great cinematography, great whatever. And then the Mio Honda Step came on, and everyone's like, oh my god, what is this? Night ruined. And they probably thought it's a bit. Like, Victor was like, if you commit to the bit, I will commit to the bit. And I'm like, honestly, you know, I expected you to immediately skip. And then Victor was like, if anyone wants to skip, say I. And then most of the people in the room was like, I. And so we skipped Mio Honda Step. But I loved it. And I and Takumi talked a lot again today. And Takumi's like very physical, which is rare for a Japanese person. I know it's a stereotype, but I mean, he's from Osaka, so who knows. But he really like punched me all the time, and he was like massaging Kiara. It's kind of crazy. But like, I asked Takumi more about like Japanese and stuff like that, and his phone, the back of his phone has like a card of and it shows a shrine, and I'm like, oh, this means that, right? And he's like, yeah, and he like explained to me, and how like it's a historical figure who turns into a god, but he doesn't know how to say. And I'm like, oh, it means he turned into a god. And he's like, yeah. And then I was looking through my Instagram, and I saw Instagram posts about the Taiwanese presidential election, and he can sort of understand, but also not, and kind of interesting. Takumi played a video, Von D's Odoriko, with Komatsu Nana, and turns out a lot of people know who she is. And when I play Mio Honda Step, I asked Takumi, do you know Idolmaster? And Takumi's like, yeah. But Takumi like doesn't like it, of course, but I think it's fucking awesome. But yeah, but nobody like hated me for this, which is crazy. Again, like you would think I'm the kind of person who would just tiptoe around big social events and act all nice and stuff, but honestly, I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna play Mio Honda Step. But yeah, at some point, of course, eventually Victor started playing K-pop, and I do know some K-pop, but Cliff really hates it, which is hilarious. And yeah, at some point I started feeling dizzy again, and Ariel kept saying, oh, Inaga's high, and I'm like, I'm not. And I don't know, I'm feeling a little dizzy. It could be from the fever, it could be from the alcohol, it could be from the weed, and I can't really tell. However, I can't fucking go out of my room, for fuck's sakes. However, the edible made me feel like my joints are super relaxed, and that weed hit last night didn't make me feel that way. Or maybe it did, I just didn't notice, but I don't know. I feel like I'm always fucking sober. But even so, I don't need drugs to be insane, you know. I talked to Justin more. I told him my badminton idea. Apparently Justin's obsessed with badminton, so I told him my badminton movie idea and all the scene ideas I have, and Justin's like, that's fucking crazy. How did you even come up with those scenes? And that's just from pure, like, imagination. Like, I don't need drugs for this. I'm just built this way, you know. But, yeah, it's great to see a lot of people last night and have fun. We didn't go to the beach because it was too cold. And we're almost split half and half between people who wants to go to the beach and people who doesn't. The boys mainly want to go to the beach. Victor, Destin, and Lewis. And Justin particularly. But yeah, we went on and on and on, and at around 3:45, I'm like, yeah, I probably should leave. So I called an Uber, and I called an Uber that I have to wait around 15 minutes for. Turns out, the moment I call an Uber, it's already going to arrive in 1 minute. So I'm like, fuck, okay, I gotta immediately leave. So I immediately packed up and left. Came back home, it was already 4 a.m. And then I took a shower and everything. It's already 5 a.m. Boom. So I actually set an alarm for 10 because at around 1 p.m. My world building design studio class, the three guys will have a Discord call, but turns out they're not going to do it anyways. They're going to do it tomorrow, which I don't think I'm going to have the time for because I'm going to church. And the only reason why I'm going to church tomorrow is because on Monday I can sleep all day. That's the only reason why. So I'm going to sacrifice myself a little bit for tomorrow morning. But yeah, today I'm going to stay at home the whole day. I'm going to eat clean. I'm going to eat little. I'm not going to spend any money and nothing fancy. Nuh-uh. Yeah, just, Glenn told me my short film, like, he doesn't get it. So I explained to him, and he's like, oh, okay, that's a really cool idea. So that's cool. Hopefully we work well together. But, yeah, it's a shame I can't test out the Blu-rays. It's a real shame. But, yeah, it is what it is. Yesterday was fire. Takumi took a bunch of photos, and one of them, in almost all of them, I look like a fucking idiot. I just always look like an idiot. Like, I did this, and it was just a funny little face, but everyone else was like deadpan, cool, and I'm like this, and it's just like, ugh. But who cares? At least I'm having fun. At least I get to repost Instagram stories where a bunch of people are in it and having fun. I never got to do that when I was in secondary school, you know? And this one is like next level because we're so multicultural. We're such a large group as well. Like, back then it's just like Bean Gang hanging out and they're having a singing karaoke together, you know? Hans and Tom and Marty and maybe Natalie's there for some reason, which usually pisses me off. Like, oh, how are they friends now? What the fuck? But now it's like 13 fucking people. And we're enjoying ourselves. So, yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. I'm really happy for yesterday. The entirety of last week is amazing. Like, it's just fantastic in general. So, yeah. But I definitely do need to find a job because I'm losing money in high speed. So, yeah. Alright, time now is 11:53, yeah, so, 11:53 p.m., finished dinner, yada yada, the dinner's quite simple. It's tilapia fillet with mayonnaise, Caesar salad, and, ravioli. Yeah. Jesus, the Latino guy, asked me, oh, ravioli? And I was like, yeah, that's my dinner. And he was like, Trader Joe's? And I'm like, no, Ralph's. Anyways, so today I stayed at home the whole day, which is great. You know, I definitely do need some rest from the last 6 days, for sure. I forgot to mention a couple things from last night. So, while at Cliff's place, Elin suddenly asked me, and it's weird because it's so random and sudden. It's like, I think she said, so what's the budget for art again? And I'm like, as long as it's below $700. And she was like, oh, okay, that's a lot. I think we're gonna need somewhere around 300 to 400, but that's it. And I'm like, oh, that's great. So if you do the math, let's say it's $300 they need. 300 plus 400 for a location, 150 for a meal, 220 for another meal, plus 100 for parking reimbursement fees and stuff like that. It's only about $1,100. That's awesome, bro. That's fucking awesome. $1,100 for a short film of this high quality? Hell yeah. So, honestly, that's great. Another thing is, yesterday when I was showing Ariel my passport, Ariel's like, holy shit, you're September 7th? So, I and Ariel share the same birthday. Both of us also share the same birthday on September 7th. And I'm like, bro, you know, we gotta celebrate together next time. You know, we gotta throw the biggest party ever. And she's like, yeah, I'm down. And so that's kind of crazy. And it's kind of interesting because I've known her since March, but it's only until now we found out. And yeah, and then there are a couple moments where Takumi, he punched my butt. And then there was a moment where you're like, Enoch, from a far distance, and I walked to him, and he's just saying something, like, he's just asking me something that's, like, completely not urgent at all. Another thing is Jonathan bought a Canon C200, and he DM'd me, and he was like, hey, I just got a C200, we can go out and shoot something together if you want. And I'm like, yeah, sure. It's kind of weird. Even though Jonathan's, like, chill with me, I don't think I'm super duper close with him. But we have experienced ends and means together, at least. So, that's something. But yeah, I think Jonathan just really likes my vision. So, I don't know, we'll see. But it's great that, like, I right now I'm kind of worried that if I integrate myself into USC a lot, I may, in time, lose my friends from the Santa Monica side. And it's crazy to think that right now I have the privilege to think that. Like before, back in secondary school, I can't think that way because, I don't even have that many friends, let alone multiple friend groups. But now I do, and it's kind of crazy. Also, Justin was thinking about holding a Lunar New Year celebration and invite Leslie. Again, if Leslie's there, I would like to look different. I would like to look buff and have styled hair and dress up nice and shit. So, I don't know. But, we'll see. I'm not opposed to seeing her again in person. And I don't think it'll be awkward because she doesn't have the ability to be awkward. She doesn't have the human ability to be awkward. And meanwhile, I can act. And even if I feel awkward, I can act as if it's not awkward. So, I don't think our interactions will be awkward, but I don't know. So that's that. Anyways, today, not much. I wanted to do the laundry, but one of my roommates, have their clothes in their washer and dryer 24/7, the whole day. Or more like 24, as in 24 hours. So I don't know. I can do it tomorrow, it's fine. The good thing is Monday's a holiday, so I can just sleep all day and chill. Yeah, I try to not eat too much food today. For lunch, it's just like one chicken thigh and half a box of salad, which is very minimal, but it's fine, I don't need to eat a lot today. I'm gonna eat some pineapple ice cream later and then just call it a day. Yeah, North DM'd me telling me about this club, APCA. So yeah, I have a lot of shit to do for USC. I did some research on frats because while I am a very socially awkward and shy person, I am, however, kind of curious on what the frat life is about. But also, joining frat is the last thing I should do. It's essentially a glorified mafia. It's a bunch of brothers, it's a bunch of people who are already friends, and you keep hanging out with them. You pretty much have no social life outside of them. If you do, it's sort of seen as treason, and they'll condemn you for it. If you try to leave, it'll be seen as treason. If you try to join, they'll keep trolling you and pranking you and in very bad ways. And they do throw a lot of crazy parties, and they have food stuff, like, they got perks. Speaking of frat, has perks. But, so fucking what? The perks are partying and drinking, which is something that I don't think I'll enjoy a lot of. So obviously, I think joining a frat is probably not a wise decision. And the worst part of all is it's like a whole $1,000 per semester, which is insane. However, there is nightlife outside of frats. I may or may not join them, but ever since I found out about the whole night owl bullshit from Santa Monica, I've been curious, like, what the fuck is up with these shits, you know? But yeah, again, like, I feel like now is not the time for me to explore this side of college life because I'm not prepared yet. That's like high level. I haven't unlocked that. Or not high level. Let's not think that way. Because if it's high level, then it means they're better than me. That's not true. But yeah, you know. And also, again, I'm a film major. If I'm fucking physics major, I'll think about joining a frat. Because studying is only a boring thing for a degree, you know. My real college life is spent in alcohol and girls. But I'm a film major and I do care about what I study. I do care about making movies and film. So, film alone can already carry my school life. I don't need much else, honestly. Yeah. But still, I'm gonna try to join clubs, try to find jobs. Another thing is at around 1:40 something, I saw my texts, and apparently the group we formed in the world building class with the 3 other guys, Wei Ting, Soren, and Nathan, they already started the Zoom call at 1 p.m. I thought they're pushing it to tomorrow 1 p.m. Apparently they're not. So fine, I joined the call and I was already really late. Nathan was gonna leave in 10 minutes. And I'm like, oops, sorry. And I was like, so what's the plan now? And I don't know why, but they all seem very deadpan and unenthusiastic, yet at the same time they seem like professionals. So it's kind of weird, but I added some nice thoughts, some nice ideas. But yeah, I should also look into what sort of assignments I need to do now, because there might be assignments and I had no idea. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Chill day, reasonably so. Tomorrow I'm going to church. I'm going to try to sleep earlier tonight. On Monday, I think I'm going to go watch Gorillas Minus 1.0. Yeah. My laptop is screaming. Fuck. This is why I can't bring my laptop to... This is why I can't bring my laptop to school. I need to bring my Asus, if anything. But yeah. It's cool. No rush. It's only week 1. Yeah, it's good that I've Glenn. You know, I go in and I already have like some insiders. Very wise. That's very intelligent of me. If I had gone to UCLA, I would have had 0 assistance. But you know, I'm in USC, so yeah. That's it. Also about my arm, it's feeling a lot better. This morning the shoulder was still sore, but I don't feel the fever now. I think I'm good. I think by tomorrow it'll be over. Yay.